Oh, come here, sweetie. Oh. Hi, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Here's Pixie. Oh, by the way, welcome. Welcome to my channel, and I hope you're all doing well. And these are my babies. I gave both my dogs a bath yesterday. Ugh. Talk about exhausting. But she looks so pretty. Just look at her. She's all shiny and pretty. See how nice and fluffy. And oh, she smells so good. They just smell so good now. This is my serious dog, guys. Lily's the crazy, silly one. This is my serious, calm dog. So I have a dog for each part of me. When I'm in the serious mood, the snuggle puppy. When I'm in more of a whatever mood, it's Lily. But they both turn into snuggle puppies when I'm on the couch or in bed. Yeah, they are snuggle puppies. But oh, it feels so good to touch them when they're all clean. And I don't take them to groomers because, number one, I can't afford what they charge now. It's outrageous what they charge to groom a dog. It's just insane. Plus, I've seen more than my share of videos of groomers abusing a dog. And you have no idea it's happening when you pick up your dog. So, after seeing so many videos of what these groomers have done to dogs while they're grooming them, and you think they're being sweet because they act so sweet when you take them in, and then when you go pick up your dog, they're so sweet. Oh, she's such a lovely dog. I just love her. Well, behind closed doors, they were abusing a dog. So no, I could never risk anything being done to my babies. So hard as it might be at my 70 years old to bathe my dogs, I get it done. Today I'm getting a comb delivered to me, a special comb to go through her fur to get rid of anything that could be like a little knot or mat, that type of thing. She doesn't have really any, maybe a couple, because I brush her fur. But yeah, they're nice and clean now. Oh, I love my dogs. Anyway, let's get to it. I'll put her down because she doesn't want to be up here. That much I know. There you go, baby. Yeah, I just wanted to talk about divorce today, guys. Yes, sir. I wanted to talk about divorce. And should you or shouldn't you? Yeah, that's the big question. Because a lot of people, I love you too. Come on. Come on. Okay, she's all clean too. Sorry, guys. Yeah. Okay, down you go. Yeah, should you or shouldn't you get a divorce? And it does. It takes a lot of thought, unless it's an extreme situation where you know that you really should not stay with the person. In my case, I was married when I was 18. It lasted 3 years, and I'm glad that marriage ended. He was a very heavy drinker. I mean, the guy drank like a fish, and that was not something that I was happy with at all. And thankfully, he actually filed for divorce from me. So I'm very grateful for it. I could not put up with his drinking and his obsession with football. I mean, football ruled our life. I mean, it was sit in front of the TV and watch football nonstop as much as he could find. And I was like, I'm sitting here married to a drunk. I mean, he would come home from work and drink till he went to bed. That's all I did was drink. And then the obsession with football was disgusting. It was like, do we even have a life here with our child? You know, we had one little boy, and it was terrible. The guy, the minute he got home, he'd start drinking. I mean, that's the way it was. So I'm very grateful that marriage ended. The second marriage, well, I guess I don't choose very well. He was very abusive. He used to beat me, kick me, punch me, cut me, you name it. And stupid me, it shows how dumb you are at some points in your life. I stayed married to that man for 22 years, and he almost killed me twice. So, yeah, I definitely divorced him. And then he became a drug addict. So the last 6 years of our marriage was living hell because he became a crack addict. It was horrendous. We were evicted multiple times from where we lived because he took the money. We ended up living in a hotel room. It was terrible. So I'm glad that one ended. But I knew in my heart, yes, this was not going to work out. But you have to stop and think. Are you divorcing because maybe you've just grown apart a little bit, and maybe there's some counseling that can bring you back together? Or maybe you've truly fallen out. No. Or maybe you've truly fallen out of love. Just fallen out of love. To where you feel nothing for that person. Absolutely nothing. Which can happen. And it's not because you're a bad person. It's not because they're a bad person. It could just be the chemistry's gone and you just don't love the person anymore. It does happen. Maybe your partner has had an affair and you can't cope with it, can't trust him anymore, and you can't move on. That's one for me. If I were to find a guy now and he cheated on me, it's over, it's done. I'm not going to be worrying about will he do it again. Never again will I have that in my mind. Never. But there are so many reasons that people get divorced, and it's not all because, oh, you just don't want to put the effort into it. Oh, you don't want to work through the hard times. No, sometimes things are drastic enough to where you do have to end your marriage. Sometimes things are bad enough to where you know that if you stay with this person, your life's going to be miserable. And life's too short to just be miserable. So, yeah, what are your views? What are your thoughts on divorce? I know there are people who will stay married because of religious beliefs. Thank goodness there is such a thing as divorce after what I have been through. There was a time when, no, you just didn't divorce somebody. You stayed with them no matter how bad it was, no matter how unhappy and miserable you were, you stayed with them until you died. Thankfully, that's not the case anymore. But I do think that sometimes people do get a divorce because they don't put an effort into their marriage. They absolutely don't. They're like, nah, I don't want to deal with him or her anymore. Go on to somebody new. And then that somebody new, I don't like that person anymore either. There are some people who just are not made for commitment. They're not made for long-term commitment. And that's just the way it is with some people. But when it comes to divorce, and the other issue too is if you have children, maybe you're a stay-at-home mom and you're terrified to leave because how are you going to raise those kids? I'm going to be honest here, that was part of the reason I stayed, which was stupid, but that was part of the reason that I stayed with my second husband. We had 5 kids. I was like, how am I going to support them? What am I going to do? I know a lot of people will say that's no excuse. Well, it's pretty terrifying to think something could happen to your children because you can't support them. They could be taken away or who knows what. But there are a lot of reasons why a divorce is in the cards for you. You think everything is perfect. You think everything is fine. When I married my second, or even my first husband, I had no idea he was an alcoholic. Because we met here in Albuquerque, then he went off in the army to move to Germany. He was stationed to Germany. I followed him after we got married. I followed him a few months after we got married to Germany. When I got there, I was shocked. I was absolutely shocked. I had no idea he had become such a heavy drinker, and boy was he bad, to the point of falling and not standing up and having to be helped to walk. I mean, it was bad. And then I had no idea. And then when we got back to the States, same thing. Drink, 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 drink. Not a good situation. And then with the second one, I had no idea he was going to be abusive. I had no idea he was going to be the kind that if he got mad at me, he would punch me and kick me and throw me across the room. I did not know that. I never thought that of him. There were a couple of signs of his temper, I will admit that, before we got married. There were a couple of signs. For instance, one time we were at my apartment and his ex-wife, he needed to get a hold of his ex-wife because they had one little boy. And whatever they talked about pissed him off so badly. Back then it was landlines. He picked up my phone and threw it against the wall and shattered it. Well, stupid me, being so young, thought, oh, he's just upset at the moment. Little did I know that that was a clue to his temper. I had no idea that was a clue to the temper he was holding inside. I was very naive. But yeah, I never dreamed he would be the kind to do what he did to me. He literally got me one time by the neck with both his hands, lifted me up against the wall, and was pressing on my neck, trying to choke me. Yeah, there were a few times that it was pretty serious. I got some pretty serious injuries with my second husband. He would hit me, he would kick me, he'd throw me down when I was pregnant. He did it when I was pregnant with my daughter and when I was pregnant with my fourth child. He threw me down. And luckily nothing happened to the baby. But that's how awful it is when you get trapped in a bad marriage. I don't know what happened. When I think about it now, I'm like, what was wrong with me? How did I let that marriage continue with all the abuse he gave me? I don't get it now. Because right now, if I met a guy and he showed the slightest bit of a bad temper or aggression, it's over. It's done. I have no desire. I will not ever deal with that again. But yeah, divorce comes for many reasons. And a lot of the reasons are simply two people just fall out of love. They go their separate ways in their head. And then they start going their separate ways in real life by having affairs and being with other people, which you should not do. If you're that unhappy in a marriage, maybe it's time to end it, to get a divorce. Because having affairs isn't going to cure the problem. Now, I know there are some people out there who are going to say, yeah, my husband or my wife had an affair and I forgave them and we went on to stay married. And that's great if that works for you. But for most people, if someone has an affair, you will spend the rest of your marriage wondering, oh, he's late, she's late. Oh, she has to work an awful lot lately. Oh, he has to work an awful lot lately. Oh, he said he'd be home by this time and it's 2 hours past. What's he doing? You know, no. I couldn't live with that. But there are a lot of people who do. They're willing to tolerate anything to stay in that marriage. And for me, no thank you. Part of me makes me wonder if that's also part of why I'm not 100% about finding somebody, because I really don't want to go through all that agony of falling in love and then maybe, boom, they decide to drop me or go have an affair on me. Yeah, no thanks. But yeah, divorce takes a lot of thought. Unless, like I say, it's a serious situation like mine was, where it doesn't take a whole lot of thought to say somebody's a total drunk and abusive, and somebody's abusive and then becomes a drug addict. And I knew he couldn't, you know, his counselor himself told me, this is going to be your life for the rest of your life. You never know when they're going to go back to it. Because he would go months without doing the crack and then be gone for 6-7 days doing his crack, wiping us out financially, ruining our lives. So I knew, no, I'm not going to live my life like that. No, absolutely not. And I'm glad I got out of that one. I can't even imagine what my life would have been if I stayed with a drug addict. I really can't. But yeah, what do you, have you guys experienced divorce? If so, what was your reasons? You know, share, because there are a lot of people online who, they got a divorce, maybe they feel alone in their reason for it. Maybe you, whatever you say, they'll be like, yeah, see, that person, you know, that person got a divorce too for that reason. Because it is, and it's painful, especially if there are children involved. It's very painful to get a divorce. Even if you want it and you know you have to do it, it's still a very painful process to go through, because a huge portion of your life, especially, well, you know, if you've been together for a while, and even if you've only been together a year, that's still a year of your life. A portion of your life is over, it's gone. You have to start new. You have to make new plans of how to live your life now without that person. And it isn't always easy, especially if you're not financially rich. It's a huge struggle to start all over again, and many women have really suffered financially when they get a divorce, and it's a scary thing. It's scary. A lot of people won't get a divorce simply because they don't want to be alone. They don't want to be living alone, so they will stay with somebody no matter how unhappy they are. They don't want to be alone. And that's kind of sad. It's like they're willing to take the misery of the marriage just so they're not living alone. I don't like living alone, I'm being honest. I don't love it, that's for sure. But it's a hell of a lot better than being in a marriage that I was unhappy in. By every means, it is much better. So yeah, divorce is a big deal, and it takes a lot of thought, and it takes a lot of courage in a lot of cases, especially if it's not something drastic where you've just kind of grown apart. It's kind of hard to sit there and think, God, I just don't love him or her anymore. I really don't want to be in this. I need to end this. I need to move on with my life. It happens. So tell me, guys, about your experiences, if you've been divorced or you know someone who has, or how you feel about divorce. It's always interesting to me to hear what other people's views are. So anyway, guys, just wanted to make this real quick. Take care, and I hope you have a good week ahead, and I will be talking to you later. Come here, Lily. Come and say goodbye. Come and say, come on. Say goodbye, guys. Say goodbye. I'm all clean and shiny, and I smell so good thanks to Mama. Oh, no kisses in the mouth. Yeah, so anyway, guys, take care and let me know. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.